Yeah, don't do that. Pam doesn't like it when I annotate her slides.
All right, good morning and welcome to this month's webinar. As you know, we do these monthly, and over the last couple months, we have been talking about advanced CQI methods and techniques. And last month, we opened up kind of the new section of these free webinars, and we talked about CQI leader or CQI champion and what is in that role and what's the position description and how to go about that. This month, we're going to talk about, as you can see, we're going to talk about CQI or Continual Quality Improvement certification. So we're going to talk about 4 different levels of CQI skill set. And then in the next couple months, we'll talk about engaging everyone in improvement and creating that culture of improvement and engagement. And we'll get into leadership roles and how do you role model and be a leader. So we'll get into a couple of those in the next couple webinars. If you're looking for the prior webinars around some of the advanced CQI methods or other things, you can find all that on our resources page on the website. Okay, so today it's all about the 4 levels of training and certification. If you haven't met us before, this is Chris up there and I'm Pam. And we are CQI, we are Continual Impact doing CQI. It's what we do every day at home and at work. And as I told someone the other day, we're not going to show you something that we haven't done ourselves. So if we talk about like doing an FMEA, a failure mode effect analysis, we're going to talk about it because we've done it either at work or at home or both. So we like this thing as much as you do. Today is about helping you keep building your professional development knowledge and maybe some skills and understanding. What we'll go through is colors. In the improvement world, in the certification world, they use colors of belts, much like if you were I'm drawing a blank here. If you were doing
martial arts,
jiu-jitsu, yeah. So there's white, there's yellow, green, and black. So we'll kind of go through a little bit of each of those 4 today, and we'll talk about what's the best level for you, because everyone is not at the same level, and it doesn't make sense to have everyone at the same level. So there's a place for everyone here, and along the way we'll sneak in and talk about each of these levels. What's the value? What's the benefit that you can bring in that level? Okay. When we talk about CQI, just level set, CQI for us is that whole breadbasket. It's continuous improvement, it's lean, it's quality, it's Six Sigma. And for us, it begins and ends, and it's in the middle of people and helping people grow. The belt series that you'll talk about it's simply stepping stones along your journey to growing your improvement skills, your improvement impact, and your improvement knowledge and abilities. So we're going to talk through these 4 belts as stepping stones. Okay. Why CQI first? Why improvement? What's so great about having a little bit of your job title saying improvement is it gives you the ability to grow yourself, grow your skills, grow your impact, grow your knowledge, and help other people. So many people have said at the end or in the middle of their CQI career, it gives me the ability to be part of something bigger than myself, right? I'm just not trying to come in and do a job. I'm coming in and helping like the organization. I'm helping my team. Like I go home and say, wow, we made an impact because I'm able to apply this thing called CQI and really help everyone. When we talk about certification of this, certification is simply validation. As you can see here, it's a validation that you know and you've been trained and some foundational understanding and you can apply it. So you may find certifications where you can read something online and then take a book test and you're certified. For us, certification is not training just to train, right? It's training so that you can apply it and you have the ability to do something with it and create good change. Because with this CQI certification, and your ability, now you can help your organization achieve more. You can do more faster, you can do more easier. And it gives you some nice little credibility, right? It gives you maybe your self-image help, it gets better, your reputation. It's great because once you have CQI certification, it's yours. It's yours alone and no one can take it from you. And you can use it in your job to bring more value, to bring more things, but you can take it in any position. And you can use these CQI skills and CQI certification no matter what job you are in, no matter what job. And I can attest to that, and Chris probably can too, right? You don't have to be a full-time CQI certified person to take CQI to the next job. Absolutely. As a billing manager, I used it. As a business manager, I used it. You can use this in every role that you have, and it's yours. When we talk about the different levels or the belts today, here at Continual Impact, we actually have 6 different certifications, and we were going to talk about just the first 4 today, and those are the ones that are very specific to certifications around CQI. And I was just mentioning, and we'll get into this more as well, it's not just training, right? It's a sandwich of certification comes from training and doing, and in some cases, coaching along the way to get you help or to, help you get a better result or get that knowledge to stick even better. Okay, some more on that in a bit here. Let's get into these colorful belts. You may have heard of them. If you're out there Googling Lean Six Sigma or Six Sigma belts or Lean belts or CI belts, these are the 4 colors and the 4 that you'll find, right? It starts it starts with white, and white is simply getting everyone on a level, common playing field of knowledge and understanding. Yellow is I can run a little project by myself. I can do this thing on my own in my own workspace, or I can do it maybe with 1 or 2 peers in our team. It goes up the next level here with skills and impact when you talk about green. Green is project leader. So now you're taking on a little bit more scope, a little bit more complex work, and now you're being asked to kind of lead and facilitate a team, a project team. And so there's more in there. Black belt is at the top here in the columns. Black is where you have more advanced skills, and you're able to then pick and choose. Here you have this problem. Oh, here you have capacity problems. Oh, well, let's look at flow. Oh, I hear we have unalignment around who does what. Okay, let's use mapping. And as a black belt, you're able to help coach others and also help people pick the right advanced or basic CQI methods. Okay, let's look at the numbers from a numbers perspective, and we put these on a yearly basis. From a numbers perspective, optimally, everyone is engaged in CQI, right? So that's why the white belt is for everybody, right? It's for everyone. And it's a pretty low bar to get everyone up to engaged at the white belt level. The percent of time someone will use their white belt is maybe 5–10% of their time. So a couple hours a week of just simply every day or an hour or so a week saying, this is something that's not quite working in my process or at my desk or on my computer. And I'm going to pause and take 10 minutes, 20 minutes and make a quick improvement. White belt also gives you the ability to have that, again, like I said, that common terminology, so you can more quickly jump in and join and participate in a bigger project. Benefits for a white belt are very incremental. And we'll show you some here where it's the little things every day that add up to big things over, over the year and over time. Yellow, again, it's kind of the expectation is that everyone at some point in their career has gotten yellow belt, right? Because it's giving you the improvement cycle to be able to run your own little improvements and do your own little projects whenever you need to. And those benefits, start to creep up a little bit as well, because now you might be making a bigger impact on your process, on your team. Green belt is, like we said, not for everyone. It's roughly about 20% of your organization, often including supervisors. And Chris might talk about this as well, that supervisors are often asked to run projects to improve the work processes that they are responsible for. And so they find, green belts find that it's maybe 50% or more of their time is spent doing improvement. Expectation is something we put here. Often we see green belts doing maybe a project a quarter. So doing one each quarter. Now the black belts are dedicated, full-time dedicated people. Benchmark says that it's 1 to 2% of your entire organization is dedicated full-time to driving improvement. And that's because they can focus, right? They can focus on the right projects. They can focus on the impactful projects. They can do more projects, and they can create more significant and maybe transformational benefits because they now have some of those advanced tools, and they have the time and the resources to really get in and do more. Okay.
Hey, Pam?
Yeah.
Can you just go back one slide? I apologize. Just a thought, maybe a suggestion for everybody. If you think about this, right, most organizations have some form of, role descriptions, kind of workforce development planning kind of stuff around for people in a role, kind of what's the kind of training that they should get. And often it, very good, it has in it, required safety training. It may even have something that's part of the technical specialty about actually doing the tasks that they're doing. One suggestion for you all is start considering more and more working with, kind of the leadership and HR departments around kind of tying these kinds of skills into roles. So for example, if you have new hires, one of the things would be, maybe it's not just the first new hire, but maybe you get a kind of a grouping of 5 or so. Then one of the things that kind of should be part of, kind of their onboarding or their kind of, their role description is getting white and yellow belt skills. Because you're trying to kind of create this culture where everybody can do this. Everybody can participate in projects, solve little local problems. So it's important for everybody in the organization, all levels up, to kind of have this thing. Similarly, as we'll get into later around green belt skills, they're very important for, yes, running the improvement projects, but also very important for the supervisors in the organization to have, because one of the very important roles of a supervisor is continuously improving, their part of the work process or their work process. So you want your supervisors to have that kind of level of skills. So you kind of like write that into, okay, you want to be a supervisor here, then one of the training things that you want to do is be able to kind of have the training and demonstrate your proficiency in improving something. So the suggestion is to start thinking, depending upon where you're at in your organization in terms of kind of the evolution around the culture of CQI, start thinking about embedding these things in kind of role profiles and, required skill sets. That's all. Thanks, Pam.
Yeah, Chris, I think you make me think of what you're alluding to is CQI is not this separate standoff thing, right? CQI gives you the core skills and supports values in the organization. Okay, let's hear from you guys out there. So we're going to do a quick poll. It will be anonymous, And we want to hear just kind of where you are in your CQI journey, and if you have any certifications. I'm going to pop up the poll here in a moment, and feel free to participate.
Nah, don't feel free to participate. Please participate.
Okay.
Tell us where you're at.
Okay, we'll just give it another moment or two. Okay, I'm going to pause it. we have some people, not everyone. If we were to share results here, let's put it on the screen. Are you able to see the results on the screen? Chris, can you see it?
Yep.
It looks like, surprise, we're all at different levels. And that's great. That's great, because that means we can learn it from each other. We can leverage what each other has learned and experienced. So it looks like small majority here is at yellow, but we're at all different levels. and then where you want to go next, or where you are certified. So I'm curious if you could unmute, because we have a number of people that are certified in other. So if you wouldn't mind unmuting and sharing with us what your certification is, so we can celebrate it with you. Or drop it into the chat.
Hi, this is Lavetta. I just want to let you know I chose other because if you don't have a certification, there was no other choice.
Ah, okay, okay. Ah, demonstration of a poorly built pool. Thank you. Okay, so that's good. We kind of have a mixture here today, so we're hoping that we can give you a little bit of something on all of them. Okay, so let's delve into each of these one by one. Let's start with, oh, and someone is QSP certified. That's great. Congratulations on your certification as well. QSP, Alexandra, is QSP, is that quality? Alexandra, I was just asking if QSP stands for quality professional, that certification.
Alexandria's mic is open, but I can't hear her.
Okay. Okay, feel free to chime over me when you get that. That is correct. Okay, it is quality professional. Fantastic. Okay, let's get into the first one. Let's go into white belt, which is the beginning level. It's the introduction. What the introduction is it's a training class. It starts with training, and it's either 4 hours or 8 hours of interactive introduction to improvement. So it goes through, what is CQI, where it came from, what's the process to use, what are some tools. There's a lot of exercises and actually some quick practice on several of the tools. And it's really just trying to get everyone to start seeing how they can use this improvement thing everywhere, every day, right? This is not just for somebody else. This is something that I can do. You leave with, you know, again, everyone kind of understanding the terminology, the approach. Many people leave this introductory white belt class with, oh my gosh, I see waste now. I see waste in my life, and I want to figure out how to eliminate it. So I look at my job differently. I look at my work and say, is this a value-added task or not? Because if it's not a value-added task, why am I doing it? So it really does start to open up that conversation, and it gets you to start thinking about, holy moly, what is possible if I could, you know, eliminate some of these non-value-added tasks and time. This one it's fairly simple on certification. You attend the class, you engage in the class, and you get your certificate. So this is the first level. Okay. Next one is yellow belt, and as we mentioned, yellow belt is still for everyone. It's also called individual contributor. So it's you as an individual, you know, kind of contributing your own little improvements or your own improvements. In this training, it's a little bit more intensive, right? It's now, instead of 4 or 8 hours, it's 16 or 2 days of training. It gets you deeper into 2 things, really. The first one is some communication skills, some working with others communication skills. So how can I build better conversations, better relationships, and just get more out of conversations and get more clarity and understanding. And then you'll spend the bulk of those 10 to 12 hours on the improvement process, the steps of the improvement process. And you'll get templates and some job aids to help you, you know, walk through and guide your projects through the improvement process. Certification for this one is a little bit higher bar, right? It's training, as we said, and applying something. So you've completed at least one project, and then you can get certification. You leave yellow belt got some basic understanding of the improvement process. You have some foundational tools, and you can lead yourself and maybe a few others through it. What you'll get in yellow belt is the improvement cycle, or when we talk about the improvement cycle or the improvement process, we're referring to plan, do, check, act, or DMAIC in the Sigma world. So what you get in yellow belt is you learn how to, I'll start at the top right in the plan. You learn how to get people focused and buy-in on a problem by establishing a good goal statement. You'll learn how to select, define, and use measures, right? Sometimes measures, you know, scare people off, or it's too much, or I don't know where to start. And so we'll work through how to select, define, and use good measures. And then we'll get you into using the waste that we talked about in the white belt for problem solving. Plan, do, check, act is the original Deming problem solving, right? And it has since moved from Deming's lab work of I plan out an experiment, I do my experiment, I check it to see if it worked, and then I act accordingly. Now, plan, do, check, act has been expanded to running an improvement, right? So I'm going to plan out my improvement, my problem. I'm going to do it. I'm come up with a hypothesis, and then I'm going to do the hypothesis to see if it works. I'm going to check to see whether my solutions worked, and then I'm going to act upon it and install it. DMAIC is a term that's called define, measure, analyze, improve, and control, which follows much like the plan, do, check, act. And that is, DMAIC is the acronym that Six Sigma uses. But at the heart of it all, it's the improvement process. Okay. In the doing piece, you'll learn how to get into some root causing and how to do 5 whys and how to use the fishbone and get deeper. You'll learn how to test things, right? So often we went through a project and we have all these cool ideas and we just go and implement them. And then we say, oh, wait, did that work or not work? So we'll work through how do you test something out quickly, right, to see whether it's going to work. And then how do you pause in that third step and say, okay, let me pause and say, did this work? What did I learn from testing this out? Do I need to go and adjust things, or am I ready to move into the last stage, which is installing and rolling out the improvements? So in Yellow Belt, you'll learn how to work through all of that, okay? What it gets you, when you have people engaged, being trained, setting expectations, supportive leadership, the impact can be pretty staggering just at this level. Let's look at this data here. On the left, you have Organization 1 and Organization 2, because we've changed the names to protect those. On the left-hand side, Organization 1, not super engaged in an improvement, not training people up or setting expectations, providing support. So you'll see that on a yearly basis, maybe an idea, a person comes up. On the second side, on the right-hand side, you'll see the other organization where same size company is providing each person's like almost 19 ideas. So that's like more than one a month. They're coming up with ideas. On the left-hand side, you'll see that the adoption rate of that less than one is pretty low, and participation is pretty low. And they're even paying. They're awarding people for coming up with these ideas. Maybe the ideas when they do bubble up are higher, but on employee, it's a lower incremental impact. So on the right-hand side, when you have yellow belt, white belt in place, and you have this in place, you can see, like I just said, 19 ideas per person. So there's a lot more ideas. Chris likes to talk about problems are gold, right? And so the ideas are this pot of gold just waiting for you to like say, hey, there's something in here, let's talk about it. And the more you can talk about these things and raise problems, the more you can do something with them. So Organization 2, right, you're bringing up ideas. They're smaller and they're quicker, but the adoption rate is higher. And the participation, go figure, is higher because, hey, somebody's actually listening and we're adopting my idea. This is kind of cool. I think I want to do more. So the adoption rate and the participation rate gets higher. And it's not about money, right? It's not about money. They're not really getting awarded financially for it. They're getting recognized by the success and the pride and the ownership of what they're bringing to the table. And they're quick. They're incremental, small little things, but you can see when you add them up, it has a much larger impact on your organization. So this is kind of the first two levels of belt. Let's get into green now.
All righty. Okay. Kind of green belt here is where you take it up a notch. By that, I mean where you're stepping from, okay, everybody in the organization, right, understands, you know, the power of CQI, kind of basic principles. They can even apply it to, you know, solve a very local kind of to their own space, you know, kind of problem type of thing. Okay, green belt, and this is the one that, you know, for all you that are kind of in the poll there, you know, kind of in the yellow belt piece, you know, I would strongly suggest you consider kind of moving up into green belt, because this is where you're basically now kind of champion, coaching, facilitating a team to do this. All right, so this is kind of why I say it's kind of like you're taking it up a notch. You're applying some of the same skills, building upon those, developing more skills, and kind of, you know, interfacing with the team. So there's a couple of our colleagues there, you know, happy about their project. And sometimes you can even hear this one as, rather than green belt, people call it CQI project leader, because it's kind of like, you know, you're now running the team. All right, now I want to reinforce again kind of something that I mentioned earlier, which is this one's got a lot of really good applicability. I mean, the first two are kind of like they should be applicable to everybody because you want a core set of skills in everybody. What I mean by this, though, is that think about it. You know, if you as an individual can basically lead a team to get them aligned around a goal, understand their work process critically. I don't mean bad critically, I mean positively critically evaluate it, look for improvements, develop the improvements, put them in place, and get that into the, you know, into the daily activity. That's a really special thing you want in a bunch of people. So it's applicable for many roles. All right. It could be just simply one of the team members who occasionally kind of steps out, you know, kind of and runs the, runs the team. It could be a work process owner. In some cases, people have something called a work process owner, which if the process goes across several portions of the organization, somebody owns that process. Okay. Important to get them green belt skills. Same thing again, please get your supervisors, not just kind of through the course, but so that they can do improvement projects, because that's what their job should be going forward, you know, in doing this kind of thing. Also, sometimes you find in some other portions of your org structure or, you know, kind of your quality structure, whether it's accreditation or workforce development or QI or whatever, you know, again, having some people that, you know, are capable at this kind of time. Some people do it in organizations, they do it full-time run projects. Some people do it part-time. The only key for part-time, you know, as a little tip is you got to make sure that the people who, you know, run, you know, projects are continuing to do it. So they continue to not just, you know, kind of have their skills, but continue to improve their skills. But here's the thing: the things that you're looking for, you know, kind of coming out of Greenbelt, is that you can handle projects that are more impactful, giving more results to all the folks, whether it's customers or inside the organization and work processes. It helps when you're running these projects. It helps people see CQI as helping the organization, right? It's not just helping me locally, you know, because I can help solve a little problem, but helping the whole organization become, you know, more efficient, more effective. You build a bunch of enthusiasm with this in terms of driving your culture. It builds, you know, confidence in yourself that you can lead teams through that improvement cycle that Pam showed you, to achieve goals. So you're, you know, comfortable taking on things that are more complex. The other thing is it starts to also build your skill sets in other tools. You want to go back one, Pam? Okay. Here's what we do for folks when, particularly in well, it could be either virtual or you know, kind of face-to-face kind of thing. It's 32 hours of learning with an immediate application on your own project. So again, we don't believe in just simply deliver training or give an overview and then, you know, expect people to do it. It really doesn't work well. But doing it, doing exercises in the class and applying it right away to a project is the way to go. So what, you know, kind of what are the kinds of things that you kind of get in here that, you know, kind of you didn't get previously? You get an understanding of the role of the project leader. You get kind of a structured approach to take a team through the improvement cycle, step by step, right? And, you know, guidance around how to do that. You get kind of education around change management, right? I'm dealing with a team now, I'm dealing with portions of the organization. So change management comes in bigger here. Change management for the organization, but also change management inside the room, how to manage the team around people who, you know, initially may be for or against, or, you know, have a particular, you know, kind of issue that they're struggling with doing. It builds mapping skills for something called value stream mapping, being able to look at the big picture, detailed work process mapping. And for both of those, skills in analysis of them, finding the waste, quantifying the potential benefits, what are we going to do about it, kind of thing. In here as well as basic stats and data representation, because you want the teams to be using data in terms of their problem solving, which is the next one, which is more advanced problem solving skills, so you can kind of take on larger challenges, bigger opportunities. Then there's a section in here dealing with kind of helping the team be successful in testing, developing standardized work, extracting lessons learned, developing good training material so that people can do the new work process. And finally, implementation skills. How do I get this thing so that it sticks when we go live and the team's got it and it keeps on going? Right? So those are the kinds of things that kind of are in Greenbelt. It's kind of the significant differences anyway between Greenbelt and Yellow Belt. And these things build upon one another, right? So you kind of go through them. And certification is engagement in the training. And in the training, there's actually some practices and things like that. And then completion of a team project and getting feedback around it. What was positive about it? What did we learn from it? What are opportunities for improvement so that you can keep on improving kind of your own self? Okay, thanks, Pam. Lots of impact to this. There's the benefit piece I'll talk about in a second. But the benefits here are it tends to be broader in the organization. By that, I mean, it's not just simply in one portion of the organization. You can get into all kinds of projects. Improvement of outcomes for customers, improvements of your work processes, problem solving of a specific kind of quality problem or defects. Get you into not just the services or products that you offer, but also what some people call the enabling processes. These are things that are like purchasing, human resources, IT, those kinds of processes that support other stuff. So the impact gets broader across the organization. The benefits, again, are bigger. You're running projects with teams. So, you get benefits to customers. We'll show you some more a little bit later on. But I don't care whether you're looking for more capacity, you're looking for quality improvements, you're looking for cost going down, you're looking for speed, right? Reduce the amount of time it takes to do something. The benefits in terms of actual numbers are going to depend upon what you're driving for. So they could be, benefits to the customers. What do I mean by that? Better outcomes for them. Better touch for them, better able to vaccinate more people in the same amount of time, that you got if you're doing, kind of COVID vaccinations kind of thing. Dollar size of kind of benefits in terms of cost savings to the organization also go up. And the last thing is, and then we can change is, if you read the kinds of quotes from some of the folks that are out there, very impactful to you, right? The person who is getting the green belt in terms of the skill development, the opportunity to make an impact on the organization, just the understanding of the organization, being able to kind of like now see it, in all of its components, and understanding of even more kind of principles and tools. Okay. All right, we always take kind of like pictures from all over the country kind of thing. You'd have to understand the context of this. This was just a bunch of folks who were kind of celebrating one of the folks kind of getting their black belt certification. So they were kind of like, doing a little black belty kind of thing. Sometimes you hear this referred to as CQI improvement champion. All right, here's where you're getting more skills around some of the more advanced and detailed tools. All right, the toolkit, and this is an important one in an organization, the toolkit is bigger than just simply 5 whys in problem solving and an Ishikawa diagram or fishbone diagram. All right, there's a whole host that we'll show you in a second tools out there that are very important for the organization to have somebody in there that can basically understand the approach and the tool and kind of lead the team through it, because they help you solve bigger problems. They help you solve certain types of problems. This kind of role, as we said before, typically you're looking for, kind of a smaller kind of cadre of people that can do this, but it's very important, and they're dedicated to kind of applying these kinds of advanced tools. Why? What it, again, gets you to do is it allows you to solve certain kinds of problems and solve them much more effectively, that are very specific. We'll show you a little bit list later. Also, it kind of takes up the ability to solve even more complex improvement projects, even broader, even across different portions of the organization, or even across organizations and your partners, kind of thing. It's also the place where you start to develop teaching skills here in the black belt so that they can teach, other folks, white, yellow, and green belts. It's also the place where black belts, particularly when they get training in doing the organizations and facilitating the leadership team in the organization's annual improvement plans, like finding the opportunities, where do we go into? They work more also with the organization leaders. So that's kind of what the black belt is. All right. What are some of these? I use the term advanced method. There's a variety of them. They're powerful out there. Kaizen, rapid process improvement. Things like 5S, eliminating and reducing significantly search time, whether it's in information processes or whether it's in physical processes. Mistake proofing, I mean, you can read these. Six Sigma, of course, in terms of having the skills to do a higher level of analysis, looking for variation, defects, correlations and causations around things. There's also some specific tools in here that deal with innovation, developing new services and products, or kind of more radical improvements in a product. So, these are unique methods that have a basic backbone. There's some training for each one of these. The training varies around the particular method that you're using, but it's an incremental training that allows you to go into a certain kind of opportunity or challenge and apply this method and get a successful result. Okay. Now, keep talking about keep kind of ramping up the the impact around things. The birthday cake here is take a look at some of the numbers that are there. As you kind of build your green belt skills and black belt skills, you're able to find more things. I mean, take a look at the numbers. 25% improvements. Even 80% improvements in kind of speed and time. Significant improvements in reduction of quality problems, reduction in opening up labor that can be used better in a different area of the organization for adding value in all kinds of processes. So the projects become larger. It's not unusual to find projects that are anywhere from 50,000. I've seen projects that are $1 million projects, believe it or not, and make significant change in the organization. So it's getting you kind of larger impacts in kind of tougher environments and in sometimes unique kinds of areas. All right. So let's kind of close back to what we've taken you through here. Again, the purpose of this whole thing around it is all around trying to help the organization get better, right? And get better through applying CQI, get better applying CQI to challenges and to benefits for customers, for the organization, for you yourself, for your partners that are out there, right? And it's about trying to get into the culture a basic level of core skills with your white belt and your yellow belt, so that everybody can participate effectively in projects, so that they can, you know, effectively solve problems just, you know, kind of in their own workspace. It's so that you've got people that can lead project teams, and then use those skills into whatever role that they go into. And then people who are good at basically expertise, technical expertise in improvement methods that can be used to get even bigger impacts and in more complicated situations. So that's what you're trying to do with, you know, kind of with the belts. So finally, hey, look, you know, we'll in a second we'll open it up for questions from everybody. But please, you know, you're on the line here because you had some interest in it. Make a contact with us. We'd love to talk to you all. I mean, we can discuss, you know, the role that you're in right now, you know, what your needs are and what your interests are. We even have little kind of almost like